Yo gamers, manama vlogs. Welcome to another reaction video. This is basically a continuation of the toughest boss in Hollow Knight, right? And this is the 2.0 version of any Radiance, and it is by fireb0rn. And it's not only that we're gonna react to, it's also gonna be any Radiance 3.0 is finally unveiled. So let's just get into it, right? You know, and I've just had a vacation, and in case you guys can't see my exquisite gamer tan, well, I'm just gonna start, okay? It's by fireb0rn.
Hey everyone, how's it going? God Gamer here. Today I'm going to be reacting to two different clears of any Radiance 2.0. This is something I never thought I would see in my career as a Hollow.
Just an FYI, I have not watched any Radiance 2.0, but I did watch the first one. So let's see what's different here. It's probably gonna be absolutely obnoxious to look at.
Hollow Knight YouTuber. Any Radiance 2.0 is probably the hardest boss ever beaten in a video game by a human player. There was a whole team effort of different players coming together to collaboratively figure out how to beat this boss. Okay, so this is Neo Exiliris's clear of the boss. This is an absolute treat to watch.
Okay,
First
let's
thing
see.
you'll is there's spikes covering every single platform. These
What?
spikes deal double damage if you touch them, and you cannot use Descending Dark to invincibility frame and get rid of them. So basically, D-Dark is not a consistent option in this fight.
What?
The sword burst there, you'll actually see that you can safe spot in the center.
You can save spot here? Oh my god, that takes so much precision gaming.
And just use Abyss Shriek to deal damage to the boss. Pretty hard to do, but that's something that players have to do because it's kind of like a DPS race. There's so many undodgeable patterns like this that you have to kill the boss very quickly before too many of those patterns happen. So they use the spell in order to stall themselves in the perfect position to dodge in between the swords. So this is the only way for them to consistently dodge the attack. The speed that he's doing damage at is also really noteworthy. Like, he's doing nail turnaround cancels so quickly against this boss. It really is a DPS race, but at the same time, he's
already phase 1.5. And already this is looking different. I don't think we've ever seen a singular spike. I don't think we have. Might be wrong. Might be wrong.
Attacks when he can so
I mean, this is just even crazier.
Masterfully. This phase is ridiculous, by the way. Like, you really have to deal damage fast because there's going to be undodgeable patterns of swords.
Yep.
And you just have to dodge wherever you can. And when you get hit, you just have to accept, you know, you got hit.
Yeah, like, just dodge. House.
There wasn't much you can do about it. So this is the platform phase. This is ridiculous. He's going to use a strat where he stays on the left side, and it gives him a bit more room to dodge these attacks from range. And he uses Balder Shell here to just invincibility frame and get some damage off real quickly. The beam walls
What?
Here
wait. How did he dodge that? How did he dodge that? I guess fireb0rn is going to show it now, so I'm not going to go back.
So being on the left side allows you to shade dash through both of them as they come at you, but a strat he uses is to actually use the tiniest safe spot. So look at where he is. The beam wall moves so quickly that its hitboxes are actually kind of separated, which means that if you're positioned perfectly, you can actually squeeze in between the hitboxes. But there's also different patterns to the beam wall, which means...
But how did he get in there in the first place? Didn't he just pogo?
That the position that you have to be at is not the same every time. And it's kind of important that he did it because he needs to Shade Cloak in order to get through this sword wall. So you can see he uses Shade Cloak there instead. And then he just has a bit of free reign to deal some more damage to the boss. And this is a spot where he uses Crystal Dash stalls. So C-Dash stalling is when you spam Crystal Dash on a wall in order to slow your descent down that wall. And the goal is to just stay on this side of...
I did use that at some point. I did use it at some point, but not that much.
The platform to use the other side of the platform as a shield from the orbs. It's just such a cool strategy to see being employed. That's the only platform that they can use because all the other platforms are smaller in size. And this is actually a safe spot. This is the only safe spot in the entire arena. And it's just the tiniest little spot that you can stand on while not taking damage from the spikes. And that allows them to
like also just landing there in the first place takes insane precision. Like, oh my god, he must have played this boss so many times over and over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure I remember that name. Speedrunner, right? Speedrunner.
Actually gets some heals off in the boss fight. And because of the fact that they have Boulder Shell, if they get into a bad spot like that, they do have a bit of leeway to
how did he even have full health at that point?
But you can see he's just looking for an opportunity to try and go for some more heals, because the climb phase is going to be so insanely difficult that you really want as much HP as possible going into it.
Bro, there's no...
And this is the beginning of the climb phase. You can see there's spikes on every platform, which makes it pretty difficult. And they use this super cool strategy where they use a descending
to die and then get teleported up.
Dark to go down into the void. And what that does is it respawns them on this platform, and the spikes are temporarily despawned. Now, respawning actually gives you a ton of invincibility frames, so it lets them get all the way up to here before they're vulnerable again, at which point they take damage and use the invincibility frames to land on the platform, despawn the spikes, and begin using Boulder Shell. Now, they're going to get hit pretty much instantly here, and Boulder Shell is done, but they can wall jump up.
I didn't even know they could make the fucking beam even faster.
And use the invincibility frames from Boulder Shell in order to get all the way up to the boss. If you remember any Radiance 1, we used all 4 charges of Boulder Shell in order to get through that climb. They have a much harder version of the climb, but they only use 1 charge of Boulder Shell.
Can't even get to use it, right? Can't even get to use it.
In order to get through it, just because their strats are so much more advanced. But anyway, this is the final phase where you just kind of lure the orbs off screen to force them to despawn. And this is so much harder because the orbs spawn so fast, and you have to fall back on the screen in order to deal damage to the boss. So I
wonder his heart rate at this moment, like Neo Accelerus. I wonder his heart rate right here, because this is probably his first kill. He will probably be very excited.
Vulnerable to getting hit pretty much any time you go for a pogo.
Yep, almost dead. No?
The speed at which the orbs spawn make this insanely difficult. You have to do 41 pogos total in order to finish the boss.
41?
Just insane. This is an insane clear of a boss. There's really not that much more for me to add to this. You can see there's a lot of strategy and labbing.
I feel like he did it so fast too.
And
like insanely fast.
That went into clearing this boss. Neo Accelerus alone has put hundreds of hours into it. But the main charge behind clearing the boss was actually by a player named Guy. Now, just a few days ago, Guy also cleared the boss and was the 2nd person ever to beat it. Now, Guy does use the hideous version of Any Radiance. Neo thankfully modded out the horrible eyeballs, so I apologize for what you're about to witness.
Wait, what?
This is Any Radiance 2.0's true form. Look at these horrible eyeballs.
Oh,
you can see making use of a bishop.
Is that just sad eyes or what is it? Yeah, it is.
And using the C-dash stall strat to dodge orbs in the first phase as well. That's something that players do. Something I really like here is just look at how early they leave the side of this platform. They only C-dash stall for just a short period of time, and then they go back up and punish the boss as soon as possible. It's just the level of optimization that's gone into this is really just difficult to believe. But you can see they do get a lot of sword burst attacks. Getting through the first phase is partially reliant on getting that attack.
Holy shit!
Such an easy way to deal damage to the boss.
What?
Easy. It's not easy, but it does allow you to deal a lot of damage. And taking 1 damage at the very end of the sword rain, which is unfortunate, but it's just a really hard phase to get through.
I feel like he dodged more than Neo Accelerus. Might be wrong. Might be wrong.
because you have to deal damage to the
like
boss
the sword face.
so quickly because of how much HP it has and because of the potential for undodgeable patterns. So once again, we're using the left side strategy for this, and we get orbs using Shade Cloak to get through that sword wall to get onto the platform. Really just careful, methodical play. And he's really just waiting for the boss to come to the left side to deal some damage. Luckily, the patterns here aren't too bad. You have to react so quickly, I feel, to the beam wall, because you only get an audio cue like the instant.
Have these guys ever taken a reaction test? Because I feel like that reaction test would be very high. Or maybe it's just, you know, just implanted into their brain to dodge the fucking light wall, because they have no time to react. No chance I would ever be able to do that, but it is very impressive to see these guys doing it.
It spawns, and you have to immediately dash to the left. So once again, using
that is so good.
As a shield,
that is so good.
Into that last orb to despawn it. You can see he tries to use that safe spot.
Yeah, but he
misses because it's so precise to get that. And he tries to dodge through the sword wall because he has to dash through it.
Does he get hit here?
He ends up dashing into the spikes here and takes double damage because of it. Just a really tough position. And the boss doesn't really give him any good time to go for the heal because he's so busy dodging other attacks. He really desperately wants to go for the heal because you need extra health for the climb phase. And finally getting an opportunity. Finally.
Oh!
And really good RNG.
Oh, that was perfect RNG.
Past him without him having to move.
Perfect.
The boss moves over and he ends up taking more damage. So
perfect hit as well.
Healing.
Good baller shield.
So much patience to get through this phase because it's so easy to take damage from any of these attacks. Especially when the boss spawns on you and does a beam burst just like that.
So, I haven't seen Caffrey Melody here. I haven't seen it.
He definitely wants to get more heals in, and you can see he walks through to get the right positioning instead of landing.
Oh, perfect baller shield usage.
And he has 7 out of 9
Let's
HP
see.
going into the climb, which
one hit,
to my understanding is actually pretty good. You can
he definitely has that thing that makes his invincibility frames after taking a hit higher. Definitely.
Through the climb apparently with like 4 HP.
Oh, he was about to desolate dive down into the void to get teleported up. Oh, and he got cocked by a beam. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
If you play it perfectly. He tried to do that descending dark strat, but you can see he got hit while he was at the top.
Oh, he used the full
cast. And you can see he's got 2 HP, right?
Like, guys, do you think this... I mean, I know that the balls spawn super fast and it's almost impossible to dodge here. But do you guys think that, you know, this phase might be the easiest out of all of the ones that we've seen here? Or what do you guys think?
Right now, okay, this guy has put 1,000 hours into the boss, and this is potentially his first clear ever. So imagine being in this situation.
That fucking face, man.
And only being 1 hit away from death. And you have to hit the boss 41 times. And even there, he like almost got hit. It was so close because he had to land on the boss in order to get his double jump back. Really close situation right there. But otherwise, it's really controlled, and it's just this is a terrifying phase. The orbs spawn so fast. They spawn like so much faster than the first fight. Like, I wonder how much practice went into this phase alone. Because this is a phase that you can do consistently, but it's got to be so difficult. But yeah, that's the 2nd person ever to clear the boss. Huge congrats to Guy and NeoAcceleris for finally pulling this off. Absolutely.
I didn't see that the first time. Okay. Nice.
Insane that they managed to do this. And like I said, Guy is going to be making a documentary style video kind of showcasing all of the tech and strats that went into this. So if you eventually want to watch that, make sure to subscribe to his YouTube. There was actually talk about doing this on ascended difficulty, which means double damage. So 4 damage instead of 2. I would be pretty surprised if they managed to pull that off, but I also never thought this would happen in the first place. So yeah, we'll see. Definitely go give those players a subscribe and have yourselves
2 people,
a wonderful
guys.
day.
2 people has done this. Like, this is so insane. Okay, I promised another reaction as well. So let's get into that. Any Radiance 3.0 is finally unveiled, and it's truly terrifying. And of course, if you guys haven't noticed, I have the best t-shirt on in the world. Kit Kat.
Hey everyone, how's it going? God Gamer here. Today I'm going to be showcasing Any Radiance 3.0. Italy made this boss because someone beat
I guess he's showcasing it with invincibility.
Any Radiance 2.0. So of course he had to make an even more difficult version of the boss. And in that, he definitely succeeded. This version of the boss
Wait, what is that? What is that?
Very tough.
Oh my god. It is so slim you can't get through the spikes. Oh my god, but why are the masks down here? What? I mean, you know, you can just dash through it, right?
I played through the boss with infinite HP, and I'm pretty sure I got hit well over 200 times.
Okay.
So you can see right off the bat that the attacks have a
That was fast.
much smaller gap to dodge in between them. This is the new sword wall attack. You can shade cloak through the first wave, but there's another wave that instantly comes out, and you actually have to get in between the...
I love that little skin here. I love that little skin here. Like, if anyone could make a mod with a Hollow Knight, having my little hat on here, you'll have a good look. Yeah, you're welcome. I don't think... I mean, maybe, you know, better to shoot your shot, right? Better to shoot your shot. Okay, so if anyone could do that, you know, I might do another Hollow Knight kind of series. Maybe a randomizer. Hello, hello, hello. So yeah, it's all up to you guys. I would love to have this hat on in game.
gap here, which is really hard to react to because they come out so quickly.
Yeah.
But you can technically dodge
There's a little gap here. Okay.
them. The beam wall is a little bit tougher to dodge as well. There's just...
Oh, just a little bit tougher to dodge. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good one.
The gap to dodge the attack is just a little bit smaller than it was before. But you can technically dodge it if you're skilled enough at the game. You can see I managed to dodge it one time.
That's kind of sick.
In the entire boss fight. So, good for me. But even getting to the gap in time is incredibly difficult. I'm not sure if you can consistently pull it off. This is the new orb attack. So it starts with one giant orb. Typically, it would spawn like 12 orbs. This starts with one giant orb, which splits up into multiple orbs as it follows you. And by the way, it does overlap with other attacks, as you can see. Theoretically, in this situation...
I actually saw... Can I see it here? The Any Radiance 3.0 bounty, 2.3 cleared. So someone has already done 2 phases out of 3. That is insane.
I need to get into this gap right here while also
How
navigating around these orbs. Not the easiest thing in the world. So this is the new beam burst attack. It's a little bit tougher to dodge because the beam burst no longer originates from the boss. Instead, it's a projectile that spawns randomly and follows you through the arena, which just makes it a little bit trickier to dodge. But you can tell, like, there's a lot of really fun, well, I don't know if I'd say fun, but they're creative mechanics that have been added to the fight. Will anyone be...
If anyone actually beats this, like, is the creator of the mod just gonna give up? Or are they gonna make an even worse Radiance?
This boss, I am leaning toward probably not. It's also important to note that the boss has a ton of HP, and dealing damage to the boss when the hitboxes come out so quickly, it's going to be a lot slower assuming someone does serious attempts of this. I'm not sure that's actually going to happen, but if someone were trying to dodge the attacks, actually, it would be very tough to deal damage at the same time. So in any Radiance 2.0, the spikes would despawn if you fell into a
So is this at the bottom, is that health for the boss so you can see how far he is in each phase? Could be.
hazard, because you'd respawn on the platform and the spikes would go away temporarily to give you time to get up. In this case, the spikes don't despawn ever. The spikes are always there, and you can't exploit anything to get rid of the spikes.
Okay.
So that's another fun little change, just kind of advancing the AI so that you can't exploit anything in the fight anymore ever. And I dodged the sword wall one time. I was actually so proud of that dodge. But
yeah, understandable, understandable. That is very good. Well played, well played.
I dodged like 2 things out of 100 in the first phase, and I'm proud of that. That's a pretty big W for me. So this is the
it fucking moves like a Ferris wheel. Oh no.
The platform phase. In the platform phase, the platforms are rotating, because why wouldn't you have moving platforms in the Any Radiance fight? You might notice there's a little circle here. That's a portal. If you touch the portal, then you get warped to another spot in the arena. It's very easy to accidentally touch these because you don't realize they're there and you just get warped somewhere else. The most important mechanic in this phase actually isn't the moving platforms, it's the beam burst. So normally the beam burst spawns and it despawns after a while, after the attack finishes. In this phase, the beam burst is permanent, and it follows you throughout the entire phase.
Oh
but you
my
can
god.
see that if you slash at the beam burst,
he could hit it downwards.
You can actually push it across the arena. And by the way, that's the only way to deal damage to the boss. So fun little gimmick in this phase. You have to hit the boss with the beam burst in order to kill the boss. You can't hit the boss normally. And you can see the portals are just a blast. Basically, like, because of the fact that you have to dodge so many attacks in this phase, your movement is going to be decided by the attacks that get thrown at you. Like, your dodges will be forced in a certain direction. And if that happens to be where a portal is, then you're going to get warped randomly to another point in the arena, which is always a little bit jarring and hard to react to, but it's part of the fun of the fight. You have these swords.
Yeah, this looks like fun.
Swords that target your location, but the toughest part of this fight is actually just how quickly the boss teleports around the arena. So this boss teleports about every 2 seconds, and the arena is pretty big. So the fact that you have to get on the other side of this projectile and hit it toward the boss right as soon as it teleports somewhere, it makes it very difficult. Like, if you watch the HP bar at all, you'll notice I haven't dealt any damage to the boss. I've hit it like a couple times, and I think you have to hit it like 10 times to finish this phase, which is not easy to pull off. Even with infinite HP, it's so hard to hit the beam burst into the boss. Like, if you thought hitting Umu with a jellyfish was hard, this is a million times harder than that. I'm kind of interested to see if someone tasks this, because Huber Knight, who's a tasser, mentioned in my Discord that, you know, they might task this. That would be very interesting to see. Maybe if you told Hunt Hustle Steady Body was bad, he'd get mad enough to be able to do this. Oh, and by the way, at this point in the phase, once you get any radiance down to super low HP, it just goes stationary and starts channeling this giant spirit bomb. I don't know what's happening here. Like, if it finishes channeling this orb, it just like crashes the game or something. Or maybe it just deletes your hard drive. I don't know what happens if you let it finish this attack, but I wasn't about to wait and see. So this is.
It would have been good content, though.
Of course, the beam burst just continues following you throughout this phase, but these platforms are definitely different. As you get close enough to the platforms vertically, they spawn in seemingly randomly, and it's pretty tough to get to them sometimes, especially with the beam burst following you. One nice thing is that you can actually pogo the beam burst. Of course, you'll always take damage if you do that, but you can pogo it. Respawns during this section are a little bit jank because, again, the spikes don't go away, and it's very tough to get to the platforms if they spawn on like the opposite side.
Wait, what?
And this is the final phase.
What?
Radiance just spins wildly out of control, and there's one single nail or sword that follows you. But as you deal damage to the boss, more of these swords spawn. Italy said he just kind of spent a couple hours on this phase compared to the other phases. This is definitely not one that he put a lot of time into.
Nope.
To be fair, no one's ever getting to this phase legit, and this is a pretty funny way to end the fight.
Yeah, I mean, that phase is definitely the easiest. Like, they were moving so slow. They were moving slower than phase 1 Markov, so... Whew.
Just totally unexpected that the last phase is super simple and actually humanly doable. So if you manage to get there, I guess you've earned your victory. But yeah, that's Any Radiance 3.0. Again,
goddamn.
Shout out to Italy for making this boss. And we may have won a few battles, but Italy has won the war. But yeah, that's it for this boss fight.
Well, guys, once again, if anyone could make a little mod with this hat on Hollow Knight, feel free to let me know. My Discord is gonna be in the description below. I would gladly hear from you people. It would be very nice because I could cook something up for you guys. Who knows? Who knows, right? So yeah, once again, thank you all so very much for watching. This is absolutely insane. And of course, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to stay tuned for more. It helps a ton, so thank you in advance. And of course, subscribe to fireb0rn as well. And the other gamers. Okay? So yes. And until next time. And 3, 2, 1. Fades away.